of January 14th, 2019. Mr. Arba, would you please call the roll?
Campbell.
Here.
Consul Magno.
Here.
Dixon.
Here.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison. McLean. Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien.
All 9 present. This time I would like to introduce Boy Scout Pack 215. They will do our flag ceremony for tonight's meeting. Would you, excuse me, would you mind coming up to the microphone, and please, because we don't want to embarrass you, but it doesn't record. Thank you.
Good evening. This is the Arrow Life Band of Presbyterian Church. This is the boys' 5th and final year of Cub Scouting. In March, they will cross over to the Boy Scout troop. A tenet of Scouting is service to others and community. One of their final requirements is to share a flag ceremony at a public meeting. Thank you for allowing us to serve you by presenting the flags tonight.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn to chair announcements. An executive session of council is conducted tonight, January 14, 2019, for personnel matters and legal issues. At this time, I would like to turn to the reports to the officials and our library director's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine. I am the director of your public library, where we provide opportunities to explore, learn, create, and connect. Adult Winter Reading Program will be starting February 3rd, continue through March 4th, so you can submit an entry for every book that you read or listen to. And you'll be entered into a weekly drawing for $25 gift cards. And our grand prize this year is an Amazon Echo, so everyone that participates in the program will go into a drawing for that. And the Winter Reading Club for Kids is already underway. The theme this year is Wild About Books. This is for children birth through teens. So you can pick up a reading log at the library and read during the month of January. For every hour that you read, you'll receive one raffle ticket that you can enter into one of our prize drawings. And then all participants in the Children's Winter Reading Club are invited to our Wonders of Wildlife program on Saturday, January 26th at 2 p.m. This is presented by the Pittsburgh Zoo. Discover fur, feathers, and scales in this introduction to some of the world's most fascinating animals. There'll be live animals here from the zoo, and we'll explore their physical characteristics and how they are uniquely adapted to their environment. Then one of my favorite programs every winter is the Bow Wow Book Club. This is on Wednesdays, every Wednesday in January at 6:30. We have 2 furry and lovable friends, beautiful dogs. that like to listen to you read. So they love stories of every kind. They like to be cuddled too. So you can sign up for a 10-minute time slot and practice your reading skills to the best listeners in the world. This is for grades K through 4, although sometimes I sneak in. And then how to pay for college information session on Thursday, January 24th at 7 p.m. This is presented by the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency. We'll learn information on the financial aid application process, what types of aid might be available for your student, and strategies to start thinking about affordability before your student gets ready to apply for post-secondary school admission. So this is for any parent with a child in any high school grade. We do encourage you to attend. And that is all I have.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor? I think you might see Mr. O'Brien at the Bow Wow Book Club. He's a little old, but
Maybe. Thinking about it.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Hi, everybody. Chief here. First of all, I just want to wish everyone they have a safe and happy new year over the coming year from me and all the officers and detectives. Thank you. If you haven't noticed, winter is back. So please use caution if you're driving and there's snow and icy conditions out. Take it a little slow. And if you have to, you don't have to go somewhere. If it's like discretionary and there's a storm, why don't you just wait until the road trucks, the plows get out and the salt gets laid and the roads are made safe, and then you can go on your way. And also, if you can take your car and not park it on the street when they got to come through with the plows, that will be helpful too. So thank you. We will have our next Crime Watch meeting will be Monday, February the 4th, 7 p.m. It's back at the Community Center in February. This past month, we were at the tour of the District Justice's new offices down there on Lytle Street. Very well attended, but we'll be moving back to the Community Center. So come out, make sure, and we'll tell you everything about crime that's going on in Bethel Park. And we'll also have whoever we arrest, we'll put their heads on Facebook, so you can look at them that way too. We've been putting a lot of heads up there lately. So if you can't come to the meeting, then just follow us on Facebook, social media, Crime Watch, email. If you need to get on that, if you can't make the meetings, contact Detective Gorman, and he'll get you an email sent out. We'll keep you apprised of what's going on. Okay, any questions?
any questions from council?
Excellent.
Hearing none, we turn to the fire chief's report. We don't want to see our pictures on Facebook.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Brown, the Deputy Fire Chief. I'm here give you the report for the month of December, but before that, I have some year-end totals. I'll bore you with some statistics for our year of 2018. 2018, the Bethel Park Fire Company, we answered a total of 527 calls. We were actually up 37 from the previous year in 2017, and actually up 156 calls from 2011 when we had 371. So unfortunately, our calls have been increasing over the last several years. I know everybody on council always wants to know whose ward's going to win the most calls we responded to. Well, this year it looks like Ward 4 is the winner with, we responded to Ward 4 101 times. Then I'll just go, as I said, they were the winner. Second place is going to go to Ward 7, 76. Third place goes to, my ward, 69. The rest of them, Ward 1, we had 48 calls. Ward 2, 31. Ward 3, 33. Ward 5 was 43. Ward 6 was 35. And Ward 9 was 27. And we also responded to 64 out-of-town mutual aid calls. And that came to our total of 527. Another item the chief wanted me to pass on was personnel hours by events. Administrative work, 599 hours we put into that. Fire prevention and community service, 953 hours. Duty crews, which on occasion we'll have a crew that actually may stand by or be in our Brightwood station for the whole day. We did a total of 40 hours. Fundraising, 171 hours. For our meetings, it's 2,123 personnel hours. Miscellaneous was 330. Big item for us, training, 3,555 hours. Another big item is time on calls. That's man hours on each call. We have totaled 8,218 hours. And the last one was just work details and maintaining our equipment is 266 hours. Total time spent for the year was 16,255 hours. And keep in mind, we're a volunteer company, so we do put in a lot of time, but a lot of it, we have to with the training that we're required to do and that we need to do. Another item, our new rescue truck, which we had spoke about before, is complete. It's currently at the local Pierce manufacturer dealer in Zelienople, Pennsylvania. Excuse me. We spoke to them today. It's a good chance it may be delivered to Bethel Park by the end of the week, although if the snowstorm, whatever, may be coming, we may delay that. If they say it's ready Friday, we probably won't go get it till next week. But, and that's, if everything goes well as far as the once-over items that they have to finish for us, it may or may not be ready. As soon as it is, though, we'll have it picked up and brought down here, and then we'll go over it, get some things laid out, how we want to mount it, and then it'll go back to Glick Manufacturing up in Zelienople. They'll do some final things for us. As far as an in-service date, maybe sometime in April, not sure. That's all tentative. And the last item was the report for December. Total of 29 calls. Real quick on the breakdown, 2 structure fires, 1 cooking, 1 trash fire, 1 gas leak, 1 CO incident, 1 electrical condition, 1 water main break. We assisted the police on 2 calls. We had 6 good intent calls, 11 fire alarms, and 2 carbon monoxide alarms for a total of 29. And thanks for listening to my statistics, and if anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
Hey, Bob, of those 16,000 hours, how many active members?
I mean, active member-wise, probably 30.
That's a lot of hours.
It is. It is. But, I mean, we'll
Thank you.
continue to do it.
And we're always looking for more volunteers.
Always, good point, Mr. President Mallory, is anybody where, doesn't matter, age 19 and above, we don't care if you're 50, 60, if you have something to add and you want to be a firefighter, come on down. We can use you.
No, thank you very much for your service to the community. At this time, we turn to the mayor's report of Mayor Allen.
Good evening. I have a few items tonight. It's our annual January holiday lighting. First, I wanted to thank Christine from the library and the recreation department. Last Friday night, she had a movie over at the community center that, I mean, it seemed like there were 500 kids there, but I'm sure there weren't. But 137 kids seemed like 500. So, yeah. And mine helped out, so that's fine. But it's great, and she does have another one coming up. I'm not sure of the date. Okay, February. Free drinks, free popcorn, and it's a good time. So if you have grandkids, kids, come on out and sit there and bring your blanket and watch a movie. Speaking, and Bob mentioned, and so did the chief for that matter, the winter weather. Well, I want to let everyone know that spring cleanup will be in April, and we'll continue to announce that as we go. One thing, like I mentioned, we do this award every January, or the awards every January, but we also seem to have another award that happens every January, and that's recognition for Joe Villella and his staff for the award of financial reporting achievement. And it seems like he gets that every year along with our lighting contestant. So congratulations to you and your group. Okay, the fun part. What I'll do is, since I don't see the Ward 1 winner here, I'll just read the certificate, and then I'll bring you up by the different wards. A certificate of award presented this 14th day of January 2019 by the municipality of Bethel Park in acknowledgement of the outstanding 2018 holiday season display of decorations at your residence, and you're hereby presented the Mayor's Award for Excellence. This recognition is given to your home, and it signifies that your holiday decorations were judged to be the best in your ward. Bethel Park appreciates your efforts to enhance the community's image at this special time of year, and congratulations to each of you, and the best wishes for a bright 2019. So Ward 1 was Doug Hudson and his wife. They live at 1168 Sarah Street, and what's amazing about this one is Doug's home was totally destroyed by the flood in June. But he took the spirit and got back on his feet, put a display together to win the award. Also honorable mentions in Ward 1 was 5420 California Avenue and 5501 California Avenue. Okay, Ward 2. And that is Jim and Beverly Fusco, and they're here? Yep. Come on up. One of them will tell you a little bit about their display. I want to mention the honorable mentions, 5622 Saddlebrook Drive and 5828 Horseshoe Drive. So we want to thank you for your hard work. If you want to say a few words about your display.
Yeah, I want to thank you for this recognition. There was certainly a lot of excellent competition in our area. Bev and I really enjoyed doing this. Actually, she enjoys it a lot more than I do. Put them up.
We put them up together.
Yeah, we put them up together. So, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the Ward 3, let me mention the honorable mentions, 963 Willow Green and 3429 South Park Road. And the winners are Daniel and Carrie Hartman of 760 McMurray Road. And actually I should say the Griswold, so.
I like your shirt.
Gonna say a few words and mention what you added this year.
I don't know if you guys have drove past the house or not, but I'm the one with the Griswold display for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Every year we just add a little bit more to it. Got a lot of lights up on the house. We have the RV out front with Cousin Eddie with the hose that he's holding. And we got the station wagon out there with this uprooted tree on the roof and a bunch of mannequins out there just displaying different scenes of the movie. But I want to thank you all for the award, and I appreciate it. And oh, by the way, we got 71 million hits on the internet.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So Bethel Park is getting recognized with this.
Plus the traffic jams up there too. Thank you very much.
I do have to ask one question. Was that Mark O'Brien, a.k.a. Cousin Eddie? It looked very familiar.
Okay, well, the Ward 4 honorable mention goes to 779 Rolling Green Drive, and the winners are Marvin and Francis Graham of 101 High Ridge Road. So come on up.
To do with the decorations at my house. My husband is embarrassed to have all this recognition. He works extremely hard. He is 89 years old.
Oh, God bless him.
Every year he says, this is the last year I can do this. Well, we put all the stuff away, and now we're hoping for next year. But he does a fantastic job, and thank you so much on his behalf.
Thank you. Okay, Award 5 winners are honorable mentions: 2316 Cassidy Drive, 141 Highland Road, and the winner was Angel and Nancy Mistro, and they are at 290 Abbeville Road. So we'll send them that. Ward 6, we send Mr. O'Brien to judge the ward, and he can't pick a winner.
It was a committee of five.
The first time
It was
ever
a
that we
committee of
actually
five.
have
It's
a
like
tie.
council. They can't make up their minds.
We have a tie.
At time.
Plus, he had more honorable mentions than we have wards. Honorable mention, 5914 Monongahela Avenue, 1108 McKnight Drive, and 5724 Wilson Drive. And the co-winners are Michael and Deborah Fate at 5740 Scenic View, and I don't believe they're here, and David McGuire, 5818 Keystone Drive. Is Dave here? That's what happened. We have co-winners. We'll get that to them. Number 7, honorable mentions, 3008 Oakhurst Road and 3105 Hillcrest Road. And the winner is Lewis and Marianne DeAngelis at 2913 Kings Mill Road, and they're here. They're both here. Ward there, you say a few words?
It was all her idea. No, I often wonder what would happen if a deer ran through my yard. He could probably run for 3 or 4 blocks before he'd unplug. That's the scary part. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the Ward 8 winner, Brian Kelly of 2621 Summit Street. All the way up. I'm sure he helped. That's why he's here. Say a few words.
Just wanted to thank everybody and a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Actually, I'm one of the original members of Bethel Park. I was born here in 1953. Anybody earlier than that? No one? Over on Comanche Road. So, whose ward is that?
59, right here.
59? I'm a little earlier than you, so 3221 Comanche. But thank you very much, and we really appreciate the honor. And I got to get this lad home so he can get to bed to go to school.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. And finally, Ward 9, honorable mention, 190 Thunderwood Drive, 130 Opalwood Court, and 144 Iron Run Road. And the winner of Ward 9 is Daniel and Judith DeLeo of 195 Thunderwood Drive, and they're here. Okay.
I couldn't put the display up without her help. Oh, that's nice. We actually won this award many years ago when our kids were younger. And when we got the award, we brought them up here with us. But now they're older, but thank you all very much for the recognition. We do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
And that's our awards for 2018. I want to announce that this year, in addition to the displays, we're going to have the judge or judges take a picture of the house. So we'll be able to show it, if not live at the council meeting, when it's reran. We'll be able to have everybody see what the house looked like, because that's what it's all about. And also, for those that like to build displays, this year we're going to entertain a Halloween a contest, and that will be probably, well, I see some smiles. That'll probably be borough-wide, but we have to figure that part out yet. But Halloween is big, and there's some nice displays out there. So, and that's my report.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Mayor. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn to the municipal manager's report and Mr. Arbaugh. Thanks, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Sean Arbaugh, Municipal Manager. Just want to go over 3 quick items. Number 1 is we were able to work with Michael Brothers Recycling on a glass recycling program, so we are going to roll that out. We actually just finished discussing it with them. We have some flyers available over here. We'll also have some information on our website. But essentially on Wednesdays and Saturdays, you'll be able to take your glass recyclables down to Michael Brothers and deposit those. They do have to be separated, and it is just glass containers, but they will offer that service. Additionally, you can take your aluminum and metal material down there for a cash rebate, and also if you have construction demolition waste or other household waste, they do charge a fee, and you can dispose of it there. So pick up a flyer, check out our website, but we are happy that we are running a pilot program for 3 months to see how this glass recycling goes with Michael Brothers. Second thing, I wanted to remind everybody that the automated trash container selection choice is due by tomorrow. So please, if you haven't made your selection yet, please get your selection in. And again, the automated containers will be coming out in mid to late March for April 1st, beginning of automated trash collection. So make sure you get your choices in. And lastly, I just want to touch on 3 stormwater projects / MS4 projects that we have prepared for 2019. Due to the recent flooding and some state requirements for our MS4 program, we are rolling out 2019 with 3 projects. Staff's put a lot of time into this. There's a lot of permitting requirements, and we're getting ready to roll those out. They are going to be located at our Oak Tree Park, our Birch Tree Park, and at the Logan Road ponds that we own and operate. And the projects really are meant to improve water quality and to detain water to help folks that are downstream from potential flood water. So we're excited about these projects, and we're going to have more information available, but we are starting on that process, and this is phase 1 this year, and hopefully phase 2 and 3 and 4 throughout the next several years. Any questions?
Hearing none, thank you very much, Mr. Arbaugh. Okay, at this time, I would like to turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. Hannon.
I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of December 10th, 2018.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of December 10th, 2018. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Campbell.
Yes.
Council Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. Hannon.
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 011419 in the amount of $1,832,050.14.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 011419 in the amount of $1,832,050.14. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Council Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to residents' comments for non-agenda items. Mr. Failer?
Logan Road, talking about the flooding again. This is more for the residents. On the Bethel Park website, if you go to the website and you go to Blueprint at BP, scan down to the discussion forum, hit enter, and go to priority issues and speak your mind about the flooding. There was 400 plus homes flooded in June. I don't see too many of them here most of the time. If they want to be heard and they want to get these problems fixed, then they need to speak up. It's a great place to go to start. Also, you guys were all elected by all the residents of Bethel Park. I encourage them to go to you guys and, show your frustration of what we've been dealing with for a long time. I've been coming here every month. since then. And I see a lot of people not getting involved. And the flood season's coming up, and they're all going to complain, and they're all going to want help, but they're going to wait till it happens, and it's too late then. So I'd like to see more people get involved and get totally involved and getting these problems resolved. Another thing I have bringing up is there somewhere I can get a copy of what the plans that you mentioned earlier, Sean?
You can reach out to the manager if he has your contact information. They're not fully designed yet, but we can certainly share with you once they're fully designed.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Okay, any other residents? Hearing none, can we turn to general policy and finance and Mr. McLean? We have no residents signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item is the appointment position of permanent police sergeant. I move that the permanent employment of Sean McGrail be ratified as per the recommendation of Chief Timothy O'Connor.
Second.
There's a motion and second, the permanent employment of Sean McGrail to be ratified as per the recommendation of Chief Timothy O'Connor. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Consul Magno.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
Second item is appointment position of permanent police sergeant. I move that the permanent employment of Colby Grubich be ratified as per the recommendation of Chief Timothy O'Connor.
Second.
There's a motion and second that we make employment of Colby Grubich to be ratified as per recommendation of Chief Timothy O'Connor. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
No additional agenda items under general policy and finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Maury?
Mr. Harrison. Mr. Harrison.
I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. It's belated. But due to the death of my wife, some friendly questions and comments have been directed to me. And so I thought I would inform the public of my future. I'm 91 years of age and in my 46th year as a Fifth Ward councilman. My intent is to continue to serve until the man upstairs calls me home or the voters of the Fifth Ward chooses someone else to serve. I spoke about Tri-Community EMS at the December monthly council meeting. The EMS service is excellent, but the subscription rate has been poor. This poor subscription rate continues. I noted in my presentation last month that there's two problems existing for the EMS service. One's financial and one is manpower. Since the January meeting, Nora Helfrich, the EMS director, issued a letter of which I received a copy. I will now read selected parts of the letter. Her letter says in part, we remain self-supporting with no municipal tax dollars used to operate your emergency medical service. We continue to maintain our commission of accreditation of ambulance services licensures, one of the only a handful of emergency medical services in the United States. We are also one of the largest EMS CPR training centers in the country. We are faced with the same issues that face other services throughout the United States: staff recruitment and retention, higher call volumes, and a decrease in Medicare insurance billing. Well, I got my stuff in paper clips. Okay. I have a warm spot in my heart for the Tri-Community EM service. I was part of the committee that established the Tri-Community EM service, and I unfortunately had the need to call for their services several times in behalf of my wife. Now, another subject. This is the first group of council members of which I've served that blatantly violated the Home Rule Charter by casting a yes vote on an illegal ordinance, even though they were reminded that a yes vote of the ordinance in question violated the Home Rule Charter. To make matters worse, you probably noticed with this genetic disease, I'm losing control of my fingers. Just be tolerant. They were joined in that violation by the solicitor, Mr. McTiernan. It is interesting to note that Mr. McTiernan was appointed to his present position after his predecessor was terminated for violating a legal issue, a legal ruling issued by his predecessor. It's not only the federal government that has a swamp. And last but not least is a reminder that 2019 is a local election year. The terms for the even number wards, 2, 4, 6, and 8, expire this year. Two of the council members, Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Maury, voted yes on the ordinance in question. Hopefully, this Home Rule Charter violation bothers you as it bothers me. The voters in these two wards may want to consider urging law-abiding registered voters in these wards to run for the nomination and then the election. Such action would alert the council members that the public demands that the council members act legally. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Mr. Dixon.
I would just like to remind Mr. Harrison that I voted for that ordinance too. You forgot me. Proudly so, I might add. And in fact, every member of this council, our fine solicitor, one of America's top lawyers, the director of Allegheny County's Bureau of Elections, and Allegheny County's solicitor all believed that the action we took that night was legal. There's only one person on earth who doesn't think that was legal, and that's Mr. Harrison. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Any other discussion?
Mr. Maury.
Mr. Harrison.
I just want to mention to the public that they quite often verbally trash me from this dais, but never do they speak to the fact that they violated the Home Rule Charter. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just comment. The reason we often speak to it as Mr. Dixon did this evening, we didn't violate. In your world, you may believe that, but nobody else other than you do. Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, can we turn to planning and zoning? And Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, I have no items on the agenda tonight for planning and zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare? And Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Chairman, there are no items under health, safety, and welfare, but I have a few.
Mr. O'Brien.
Last month, we held the first annual Scott Benyon Memorial Scholarship fundraiser. It was an absolute wonderful success. You know, Ann Henney and Andy and all the others that were a part of that echelon to bring it all together. It was more, not just a fundraiser, but it was a celebration of Scott's life. To see people come out and honor a man who was a businessman in this community and give back what he gave to so many. There was 100 people that showed up at the door that didn't buy tickets, and they almost ran out of food. So, he wasn't as good a friend as mine for as long. I could call him friend, but I was just truly honored what the people of Bethel Park and all around did for this man. And they raised quite a bit of money. So I think the scholarship program is underway, and it'll probably take effect this year or next year. The other is some sad news. Bethel Park lost one of its own last month, and that was our Honorable Mayor, James McLean, Jimmy's father. He held so many titles. Chairman of the Home Rule Charter Commission, Esquire, Judge, Father, Resident. To listen to his eulogy given by his son just brought a chill. Many of us like many things in life. Some people like football and some people like hockey, but I like listening to speeches, I always had. And this man here, his son, gave a speech that would go down in the record books next to Thomas Jefferson and the rest. It was very good. And I got to learn a lot about our Mayor, James McLean, how wonderful and honorable man he was. And then we all know people. A person knows another person, a person knows another person. And it turns out I know a person that knew his father. Along the streams in Loyal Hannah in the summers up in Ligonier, his father was part of a group of young men who spent their summers there. And they all got together and they played baseball, football. And this individual I know is a little bit younger, but watched all these his older brothers and the cousins play in this competitive game. And Jimmy's father was stricken with a childhood illness, and he had a disability. And he said, when I first saw him catch the ball in his glove, take off the glove, and then throw it with the same hand, and then how he was batting, he said it was quite unique, and I didn't know what to think about it. But as I watched the games day after day, you really didn't even notice because he did not have any delay. He learned to deal with this, and he became one of the good players, that the competitive of these young men. And that's kind of like how he lived his life. He never let anything get in his way. He never claimed anything, I have a problem. He just went out and grabbed life. Opportunity was all about him, and he went out and grabbed it. And what a great, honorable man. And we surely should recognize him. I know Jimmy misses him dearly, and from Bethel Park, I'd like to say thank you. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mowry,
McLean.
Mr. O'Brien, I want to thank you very much. That was very moving, and I'm grateful for it. Quickly about my dad. He moved out here into Bethel Park in the late 1950s when it was a lot less populated. There was no South Hills Village. The intersection by the park where 88 and Baptist meet had no traffic light. It was a courtesy corner, and you just took your turn when you got down there. But the point is that for my father, he moved into this community. He became a part of it. He served on this council. He was mayor of Bethel Park. He was chairman of the Home Rule Study Commission. But I think what he was most gratified by is he watched his children grow up here, and he passed away knowing that now his grandchildren and great-grandchildren live in this community. So that's his legacy, is that he became part of the creation of a community that he and his children and his children's children and their children all remain a part of. And I don't know that anybody could ask for anything more than that. So I want to thank you again, Mark. Very, very kind words. I appreciate them. And I will miss my father dearly, but I always have this community to look to that he was part of. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any additional comments? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Ms. Gibbons? Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Any additional items? Hearing none, is there a
Move we
motion to
adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.